Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fernando Alonso career mode. The quest for a third title triumph continues here in race 2 for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, known by many other names like the Teaspoon Grand Prix or the qualifying then for round number 2, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. Despite my best efforts, not doing the track for a few months probably didn't help, but across the line where it was P6 in Bahrain, turn that upside down and you get a very happy time, but in our case P9. And that's not great. So we're going to start, well, 5th row of the grid, only just ahead of Oscar Piastri, sandwiched between the McLaren boys. In the end, though, it's Charles Leclerc on pole position. Now, that's really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. The Ferrari man has absolutely sent Verstappen a new one. That's not the right phrase. Unfortunately, I've lost the will to care. We're still ahead of our teammate, crucially. However, a lot of cars ahead of us that we were beating in Bahrain that we need to dispatch of come race day. What we need is another lightning start. So let's see if we can achieve that on race day.
Welcome from the Jeddah Street Circuit for what we hope is going to be a gripping spectacle of racing. It's time to get underway as we join the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
No more frivolous floundering, we have a score to settle. 5 red lights! Lights out and away we go in Jeddah. A great start for Norris. It's Russell this time that absolutely drops anchor. We're going to send it down the inside of the McLaren man as well. Have the outside line for the next corner, but momentum is in our favour. And already up 2 positions, we've hoisted ourselves in our boat. And now the quest for treasure continues as through the first sector we go. High speed, high octane. Unfortunately for us, not enough downforce. Again, the understeer kicking in and the absolute bucketful in this Aston Martin car. And it feels like we're on the back foot already here, but Gasly's next up the road. How did Gasly get up to P6, can I just add? I didn't commend him for his qualifying performance, but he absolutely tore us all a new one as we come through this next sequence of corners. Hamilton and it looks like Verstappen in the Red Bull. What an awful start he's had, but we've got to make the most of this and capitalise while we can. Gasly going around the outside of not just Hamilton, but Verstappen as well, as we have the outside line and momentum in our favour. Hamilton leaves the space too courteously. I know he's British, but that was pushing the boat out as we get past him, and we're not going to waste any time on Gasly. The writing's on the wall as down the inside of the Frenchman we go. White flag waves in surrender. And now, in our crosshairs is the man surely to beat throughout this season, Max Verstappen. I know it didn't go his way in race 1. If you haven't watched it, by the way, go and watch it right now. But to spoil it, Verstappen with an engine failure. And absolutely, well, a plight of gargantuan proportions for the Dutchman, but it doesn't, well, it bodes extremely well in our court, as in Charles Leclerc's, as we get the fastest lap. Feint to the inside, dummy to the outside. Look how brave we are, and surging round Max Verstappen we go. That was phenomenal stuff there. Testicles made of tungsten in this Aston Martin car, and we are doing a Fernando Alonso job, taking potentially slower machinery into uncharted territory. That is what he's known best for, and my God, are we doing it justice today, as now both the Ferraris begin to fight, and it could get tasty. This horse has got a gammy leg, been infused with ketamine, and is crying. Can we sedate it more and claim a podium position? No, not quite. In fact, it's Verstappen that's looking extremely racy. Look at that launch he's got. How much cowball did you take this morning, mate? But down the inside, we surge it again. We're going to get DRS off the Ferraris ahead anyway. And Leclerc gives a really cold shoulder to Carlos Sainz. And I say thank you very much. Now, the wily old fox versus the spring chicken in relative terms. But round the outside, we try to go. Sainz is always going to go for the move. And we almost toboggan into Leclerc's diffuser. Contact made. We're through into P3, albeit in rather dubious circumstances. It was attempted murder. I can't even defend that. But one Ferrari dispatched of. Next up, pole sitter Charles Leclerc. End of lap 5 then, as you can see, that gap is, well, it's ominously grown. Leclerc luckily without DRS, which gives us a whole hoist of slipstream there. But he's perilously close to Perez's rear end, who has just begun to escape. Sainz trying to go down the inside as we go wider than the River Seine. But where we go as wide as the River Seine, we are now going to turn it into a full send on Charles Leclerc. Look at the speed we have. Round the outside again. Try and be last to the late breakers. It doesn't matter though. Easily cooking our way round the outside. And Charles has been casseroled up into P2 now. Next target up the road, Sergio Perez. I'm feeling a touch of deja vu here, ladies and gents. Bad news, it's the wrong kind of deja vu. It's Charles Leclerc spearfishing his way through into the final corner. Luckily, we will retaliate with DRS of our own. Good news, though. Sainz and Verstappen have fought so much, they're out of our DRS battle. And it means Leclerc and myself can begin to play a little mind game here. Perez thinks he has it all his own way. We easily breeze past Leclerc and now are well within DRS range of Sergio Perez. His diffuser's getting a little bit squeaky. It better prepare itself to be thrust. Remind me to never speak again. Anyway, the chase is on. The heat is boiling up. We started at a simmer, and now we are going for the full grillage on Sergio Perez. And luckily for us, we do keep well within DRS range of the Mexican maestro of, well, I don't even have anything negative to say. He's leading the race currently, but with how powerful the slipstream is and DRS at our disposal, we could do some real damage. Lap number 8 now, same point as the previous lap. Leclerc keeping well within range as we go skating over the curbs like Tony Hawk. And that was not part of the script. Look at Charles Leclerc go here on lap number 8. I think the plan was to come into the pit lane anyway. But that is terrible, terrible news for us. As through goes the Ferrari man. And now, well, luckily we're coming in anyway. But it's a distraction we didn't need. As through into this pit lane, we're going to full send it in. Absolutely no holds barred. Nothing to see here. With our Lord Aliens tractor beaming us back to success. Down pit row we go and into the box. Of course it will be purple. You know how the score goes by now. As onto the medium tyres we go again. We have to, for some reason, wait what feels like an eternity for our pit crew to release us from purgatory. But once we do, what's the gap to Perez going to look like? Well, you're about to find out, as attacking this pit lane as much as possible. The FIA forgot their guide dogs, so that was okay. Through the first sector, then a bunch of cars ahead of us, a bunch of much slower cars as well. So, key is now to stay within DRS range of Perez. Good news, ladies and gentlemen, we do remain within DRS, and we actually caught up Sargent on his older tyres by well over a second on that lap. Yes, I know he's in a Williams and Sargent's just bad, but the point is that new tyres are just so strong. Leclerc comes out of the pit lane and is not, crucially, within DRS range of us. So now we have another game we can play, as onto the end of the lap we go. Our teammate currently in P2 as Verstappen, there's his dot in the pit lane, finally getting a service for soft tyres on his wagon. Meanwhile, we are really carting along at speed. Perez gets the fastest lap. We now inherit that. And now surely the provisional lead. Round the outside we go. Perez races us so hard. But unlike Alex Albon, we get it done. Round the outside of turn number 1 and 2. I will now withdraw the Alex Albon slander because he has been brilliant. Our teammate now is going to have to help us to eternal glory. Down the inside, he almost cuts us off. Lance, play nice, fella. For that, we're going to give you a shoulder of our own. Elbows out, their words, through the left-hander. And now Lance has to deal with Perez. We might not have DRS, but our teammate does, crucially, and he can defend from the Mexican driver for just a little bit. Perez, surely, yes, he is. There he is, going for the move. We have a massive slide out of that final corner. Crucially, though, we should, with the assistance from Lance, the Canadian dream, keep the lead, although Perez coming in at lightning speed round the outside. My goodness me, but we fairly and squarely defend that. That's the only way you can describe that, fairly and squarely, although Leclerc now within safety. Oh my God almighty! a whole gaggle of cars at the edge of the last corner. As a result, we have a red flag. Bottas with a car issue. I've never had this on the F1 23 game before. Red flag for this session. Hamilton, I think, was involved in that. Hamilton had massive car problems, by the way. So I have no idea what went on. Oh, but now as a result, we lead and we have soft tyres, 5 red lights. Here we go again. Lights out and away we go. Perez on mediums. Surely has shot himself in the tyre, for lack of a better term, but easily keeping the lead through the first couple of corners. And that could well be curtains. For some reason, someone's still on a start-finish straight. I have no idea why, but regardless, through the first few corners we go, and surely this is going to be an easy road to victory for us. Oh, for God's sake. Charles Leclerc breezes past us again, and now we're back to where we were before. Alonso versus Leclerc. And this time it's for the race win. Sainz and Perez now fighting. I will admit I did almost commit third-degree murder on Perez, but we think about a move on Leclerc, but we realise that we have an opportunity here to save battery, to save our pace a tiny bit, just while we pikey the slipstream of our Monegasque man ahead. I don't know what English is anymore, apparently, but we're outside of a second of Perez, which is good news, and we are going to use the slipstream to good effect. We're going to go down the inside, use a bit of battery, make sure we're well ahead. Come the last corner, brake as late as we dare. I think I was being a bit conservative on the brakes all the way through this race. I had so much more left in the brake drum tank. Not like this. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the Aston's using brake drums. We're going to defend from Leclerc successfully, but we need to be clever about this now as much as possible. End of lap 16 now, and, well, all we can do really is just concede to Charles Leclerc. He's already had a dose of DRS in the previous zone. Now he's got the second one, and there's no point in fighting it. We might as well concede position. The more we fight and the more we scrap away with Charles, well, Lord Percival is going to have his shining armour on. Number 1, blind us, and 2, unsheath his sword. That's Leclerc, stop that, please. Lap number 17, could have thought about trying to make a move. Leclerc actually defending to the inside there. Now a 5-car train again as Sainz tries to go for the move on Verstappen again behind. Just going to cost them plethoras of time. It means Russell now is up into P5 come the end of lap 17. And now with DRS, we're going to briefly put Leclerc under pressure. Round the outside of the final corner we go. Leclerc with tremendous traction though. Perez could get himself involved in this little battle. We're defending the inside, creating almost a barricade to stop the Red Bull from surging through. But again, we're going to play this safe, and we're actually going to concede position. That slide definitely didn't help proceedings, though. Perez nibbling at our heels like a bloodthirsty shark. But we do keep it together, and we have one more lap to try and overthrow Lord Percival and try and write our name once again in the history books. Alonso claiming win number 33 last time out in Bahrain. And here comes Project 34. Ignore. Those track limits were absolutely legal as we now head through into the left-hander. I think I've hardly shown you this bit, to be honest with you. It's a disservice, really, but hardly any of the action happens here. Luckily now, there is action that's going to happen because we are just biding our time. We've got 40% battery. I highly doubt Leclerc's got that much left in the tank. And disposing of the battery now, deploying it, making the Energizer Bunny cry himself to sleep. DRS open. We're going to go to the right-hand side. Perez thinks about going down the inside. He does indeed, and it means he forces us wide. No! It means we lose so much time to Leclerc. I didn't want to lose that much. I just wanted to lose a tiny bit, put him under pressure, and I think we could have held it to the line. As a result, look, his red light's flashing. He's got nothing left in the tank. Surely we can make the move. No, a bit of a slide out the final corner. It's going to be a drag race. No, DRS to the line, and we don't get it. We've just missed out.
What a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit, familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
God damn it, man. Yes, it's the same 3 familiar faces as in Bahrain on the podium. Success in Saudi Arabia belongs to the knight in shining armour, though, for Ferrari. Lord Percival Leclerc. Charles has done it. Ferrari's first win of 2023. His first win of 2023. But it's not really 7 points gained. It's 7 points lost, in my opinion. I should have not made those mistakes, but here's Bottas. This is what caused the red flag. Oh, no! Massive accident! Guan Yu Zhou there on the exit. How on earth has he ended up like that? And there's the red flag. 5 cars out on the spot, it looks like. Zhou, actually, fighting with Ocon there. No! Turns the rear tyres, erupts them. And that is so clumsy from Bottas. Himself, both Alphas out on the spot. Zhou scored a point last time out. They come away with absolutely nothing this time. Hamilton out again. No points for the Mercedes man. Albon and Magnussen. It's heartbreak hotel for those 5. And it feels like much the same for me, but I can't really fault the effort we did. It was so close, but again, I feel like it's not points gained, it's points lost, realistically. It should have been another win, and I ballsed it. And I've only got myself to blame. Alpine with another double score, by the way. Congratulations to them. There's 22 hundredths was all that was in it. Well, we go again in Australia. We were so close again. But like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And we go again in Australia. 2 podiums in 2, though. Nothing to turn my snout up at. Until then, have a wonderful day. And I'll see you soon.